Welcome to iCarly.
Yes. As Ben said, welcome back to the podcast, episode
To
18. What's up?
I said to iCarly.
Imagine. No, this is definitely not because, don't have the rights for that and don't want to get copyright strike. But welcome back to our podcast, episode 18 here on YouTube. And we have quite a bit of interesting stuff to go over. Some good, some bad. I'll let you guys figure out which is which. But with that being said,
mostly bad.
no, dude, what are you talking about? No, it is mostly bad. I'm trolling. Anyways, we got quite a bit of stuff, so we will just get right on into it. And the first thing, very quickly, is I wanted to give a quick update on how the Hollywood strikes were going. And what I mean by that is there's basically nothing happening still.
Yeah.
They're basically at a standstill in negotiations. And yeah, there's really no movement on either side. Who knows how much longer this thing is going to go on. It's basically the last thing we heard was the WGA refused the studio's counteroffer because they basically changed nothing, I guess. And that was the last we heard. And that was a couple weeks ago. So that's pretty much it on that front. Now, there have been a couple other very small, interesting developments that kind of goes along with this. Essentially, what the current rumor is that the unions are going to start making separate deals or separate offers to each of the individual studios, rather than try to get them all to agree on one singular deal, because I guess that's pretty much been the biggest roadblock so far, because obviously these studios each have their own different plans for what they want to do. It's very difficult to get them all to agree on one plan. So the unions are going to try and strike separate deals with multiple different studios, kind of like how they've already done with A24. For those of you that don't know, A24 is basically the only studio that can actually still make projects right now, because they were the only studio that agreed to the union's demands. So they basically worked out a separate deal that they can still, their actors can still work, the writers can still work for them, stuff like that. But every other studio,
they know they need the talent.
Right, exactly. And it's funny too, because A24 obviously pulls in way less money than some of these other big name studios, right? Like Warner Bros, Disney, Netflix. Right, exactly. So the fact that they can afford, to make this deal, yet these other studios that are making way more money than them can't, or I should say won't. That just tells you all you need to know right there. But anyways, with that being said, I also saw there's been a few studios, I think H Collective was one of them, that announced that they're launching brand new studios that will basically exclusively use AI and other technology to start making upcoming projects. That's an interesting stance to take, but we'll see how it works out for them. And basically the last thing is that the SAG-AFTRA union, aka, the actors union, they recently voted to strike against the video game industry. So basically once that goes into effect, there won't be able they won't be able to have any voice actors doing mocap stuff for video games coming up soon. Basically all the way until they get a deal worked out with the video game industry. So we'll have to see how that affects or impacts upcoming video game releases for next year and beyond. But yep, that's pretty much it for what we have based off, how like the strikes are going and stuff like that. Mostly
you
bad.
suck, dude. Get that out of here.
Mostly bad, obviously, but I mean, it is what it is. All we can do is wait, and hopefully, the studios and the video game studios, movie studios, and whatnot will come to their senses and start, offering deals that are obviously worth it to both sides. But we'll see what happens. But with that being said, we're going to move on. And next up, we have some Star Wars related things to talk about. And the first of those things we're going to talk about, as I'm sure most of you probably knew this was coming based off the title and obviously the hype surrounding this show, but we got to talk about Ahsoka.
Wait, what? I didn't know that started.
Yes, sir.
Was it like the first episode or something?
It's done. Imagine.
It's done.
Imagine. No, it's the first 5 episodes out, 3 more still to come. And basically, before I get into what I have to say about the show, because you already know I have some things to say about the show, Ben, I'm assuming you haven't got caught up, but if you have, great. Feel free to give your opinions.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna sit this one out.
Evan, go ahead and say what you thought about the show, or I guess what you think about the show so far.
I mean, it's all right. I'm joking.
I heard it was really good.
No, I'm gonna talk about the show as a whole so far first. I like it. I mean, it's definitely. I worry about Star Wars shows because when we get in them, we're just like, okay, we're gonna get some substance, something that like lends more story to the overarching universe, or are we just gonna get some, B team nonsense that doesn't have much to do with the overarching theme or story of Star Wars? But it's proven to at least not be that. It's definitely been. I've enjoyed it. My favorite episode so far, obviously, is the one we just got.
Oh yes, we're gonna talk about that one as well.
I thought that one was awesome. It added so much and pulled so much together from 2 different mediums.
Yes.
But yeah, that's really all I got to say about it.
Sheesh. All right.
I'm digging it.
Everyone brace yourselves. Make sure you're sitting down. It's like I got quite a bit
He's about to cook.
to pack in here. All right. So first of all, as I've said before the show even came out, that I thought this was going to be by far my favorite Star Wars show. That has definitely lived up to that so far. Obviously, we'll have to see how the ending goes these last few episodes, but they would have to like completely butcher the ending.
I'd have to pull a Game of Thrones.
Yeah, they would have to completely just not even try.
On the landing.
Exactly. For this to not be my favorite Star Wars show. That's nothing against, a show like The Mandalorian, which I also think is very good. But it just has a little bit extra, you know what I mean? It has a little bit more salt, a little bit more spice to it than we've gotten in pretty much any other Star Wars show, that I think elevates it a little bit above, some of the other pretty good Star Wars shows we've gotten so far. I definitely feel like it's the most how do I say this, like Star Wars-y show, I guess, that we've gotten so far.
Nice, dude.
The close second would obviously be The Mandalorian, but and what I mean by that is just like, there's a ton of lightsaber action, right? Ton of lightsaber duels. You got a bunch of just fights, space battles, like an awesome like music track, the score, and just like the world building with like the lore and whatnot. Well, before we get into like the lore stuff, but just like small other little details, like they had an opening crawl right before like the very first episode, which is obviously something that's everyone knows from like the Star Wars movies, but we haven't really seen that in any of the shows so far up until now. You know, adding in like the unique transitions, and just stuff like that. And as for like the lore, you know, I feel like really no other show has dived into that and revealed as much as this show has already done, even though there's still 3 episodes left. Like for instance, and I think I talked to Evan about this the other day too. They them like confirming that basically anyone can wield the Force to some degree, at least, with enough dedication and discipline, you know, and all that stuff. Because that was something that was like talked about a lot over like the last decade or two. Because in the original movies, they basically made it seem like that was the case, right? That like the Force is, you know, present in all living things and that anyone can wield it. But then the prequels introduced the midi-chlorians, right? And then people were like, well, wait a second, do you need like a high midi-chlorian count to be able to use the Force? Like, what's going on here? But so I think it was cool that they finally like kind of cleared that up. And for those of you wondering, yes, this was actually like George's original plan for the Force. Like, that's basically, he's been on the record saying like basically anyone can use the Force, you know, as long as they work extremely hard. Now, obviously, as they say in the show, like talent is obviously a factor, right? Like if you have a higher midi-chlorian count like Anakin did, obviously you're going to be able to do things that it doesn't matter how much someone practices, right? Like, you know, you're just going to be automatically be better at certain things
Yeah, it's like
than
anybody can
someone
play
that isn't.
basketball, but only some people are genetically predisposed to being
Exactly, right?
much better suited at the basketball.
Exactly, yep. So yeah, it is. That's actually a perfect analogy. Like basically sports, you know, you see like really non-athletic people that play professional sports, but you know they do very well at the little things, right? Like they work very hard. Like their technique is usually very good. But obviously, you know, you take someone that is athletically gifted and you combine, you know, the hard work, you know, the discipline, all those things as well. Obviously, you know, they're going to be an
You get the
infinitely better
LeBron
person or
James of
player.
Jedi.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It also turns into a bad guy.
But
But
yeah, I
back to a
mean,
good guy.
yeah, back to a good guy now, I guess. But and I wanted to ask you about that too, but we'll get to that. But yeah, I feel like this show is I feel like you have to have watched the Rebels and the Clone Wars animated shows to fully appreciate the show, or at least know like a good amount about what goes on in those shows to fully appreciate this show. But that's not to say that if you don't, you can't enjoy the show as well, because I talked to some people who also really like the show that literally know nothing about like Rebels or Clone Wars, and they also said this is their favorite Star Wars show so far as well. So basically, long story short, if you're even somewhat of a Star Wars fan, I would definitely recommend watching the show if you haven't already yet. And basically now I wanted to get into some of the stuff from episode 5, obviously, because that's like the the episode that everyone's talking about, everyone's hyped out about. You know, it did a lot of cool things. It introduced a lot of interesting concepts into the world. But yeah, I mean, Evan, you kind of already gave like a brief overview of your thoughts on the episode, but is there anything else you wanted to add?
Sorry. Not really. I mean, I just thought it was a really cool episode. We got things I didn't think we would see necessarily.
Yeah.
And like you said before, like from like episode 3 and on, I was just kind of like, where the fuck is this going?
I know.
But like in a good way. Like I
Yeah.
don't. It's like I can sort of tell what's what might happen, but like who fucking knows?
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely like the first Star Wars show so far that I feel like I couldn't really accurately predict what was going to happen like by the end of it. And I still feel that way. There's only 3 episodes left, and I literally have no idea like what we're gonna see in this new galaxy, you know, what's gonna happen, how could they potentially get back from it. I mean, there's still just so many unknowns, and I think that's a really very cool, refreshing thing that we really haven't seen so far. But as for episode 5, I mean, obviously, as I said, phenomenal episode. I would basically give it as close to a 10 as possible. The only reason I wouldn't quite go 10 out of 10, and it's not even like something really bad, it's just I wanted to see more of the World Between Worlds and like the flashbacks and Anakin and whatnot, because when I looked at it, like by the time she leaves the World Between Worlds, I looked at the time, the episode wasn't even halfway done. It was like, and it was a longer episode for sure. I think it was like 50 minutes or something like that. So just like getting to see a little bit more of that, because we still have a lot of questions regarding that, right? And feel free to chime in what you think about any of this as well if you have any theories. But like, we still don't know, was that actually Anakin, like his Force ghost, or was that just like an apparition that the World Between Worlds created, like basically the manifestation of the World Between Worlds to kind of like guide Ahsoka back to the realm of the living, you know? They didn't really explain that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I have no idea. But, you know, they also didn't really, like, for people that haven't seen Rebels, right, and stuff like that, they also really didn't dive too much into what that place is, what it can do. Sure, you know, we got to see little glimpses of it with her, like, you know, getting sent back in time and seeing like the Clone Wars flashbacks and whatnot, which, by the way, absolutely, like, as perfectly well done as they could do those Clone Wars flashbacks, in my opinion.
That
like,
was Rex.
Yeah, we got to see Captain Rex. Yeah, we got to see Captain Rex during the Siege of Mandalore, which was awesome. And then, dude, there's a couple insanely cool shots too, like when Anakin was going out, like leading the charge and the battle, like into like the smoke, and you see like the flash and like the silhouette changes between like him and Darth Vader. Like, that was sick. They actually did that like twice, I think, in the episode. But
so good, man. And then when after that, and she sees him again up close, and his eyes are just blood orange.
Yep.
And then when she leans into him, like trying to decide what she's gonna do, and you can sort of see the reflection of it in her eyes, and you don't know if that's her, slippery sloping the same way he did,
exactly,
or if that's the reflection that she sees in his eyes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's just so many cool details like that, just really well done. And I mean, I don't know how they're going to top this in the next 3 episodes. Like, I'm trying to think of a way that one of these last 3 episodes could be even better than this episode, and I can't think of one. But I mean, they pretty much met, if not exceeded, all my expectations so far. So I'm sure if anyone can find a way to do it, it's going to be Dave Filoni. But yeah, I mean, overall, just phenomenal show. Can't wait to see what comes next, these last 3 episodes. And yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see what happens, but really cool so far. I guess, like, if I had to say any other negatives about the show as a whole, yeah, it's just 10 out of 10, absolutely flawless. But
absolutely
I don't know, maybe like Sabine, yet another character getting stabbed with a lightsaber in the stomach, yet still surviving. But I've seen a lot of people complaining about that online. But I mean, I guess in her situation, like, it was kind of like in the side.
The fucking future, man.
Well, that too. Like,
well, not future, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, because people always go back to the
technologically advanced.
Right. Exactly. Because people, the reason people were upset was because they always go back to the Qui-Gon thing, right? Like, he got stabbed through the stomach and he died. But as you said, that was like, hey, just unlucky, dude. What to tell you. But no, you are right in the sense that like that was literally what timeline wise it would have been like 70, 80 years before this. So obviously their technology and like their medicine and medical technology and whatnot probably advanced, you know, quite significantly since then. And you know, she's also stabbed in the side of the stomach, like I said, whereas Qui-Gon was like direct center of the stomach, which obviously, you know,
he got
like
skewered.
like went through, had to have gone through like his spine and stuff like that too. So you factor that in, and you know, obviously it's a little bit more believable. But no, I was okay with that. Really, the only thing I would say is, and you know, you could say that you know there's a couple other factors as to why this could be, but I didn't really buy that Ahsoka would lose in a duel to Balin. like her essentially losing and getting kicked off the ledger or whatever, like I just don't.
That was more of a mental thing.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, like people,
because I mean, how long has Balin been practicing the ways of the Jedi? Like,
oh, for sure, it's been a long time.
The way he beats her is mentally.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time. Basically, what I was getting at was, I mean, we've seen her basically take on like 3 Inquisitors at one time before. We've seen her fight and defeat Darth Maul before. Don't get it wrong. And if I had to pick between Darth Maul and Balin as to who's more powerful, I think we would all agree which one.
I don't know, dude. From what we've seen,
the scale. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if they would have had Balin do something beforehand that, you know, we could see like where his power level is at, then I'd be like, okay, you know, he's obviously that dude. You know what I mean?
Well,
but like,
maybe that's the thing that shows his power level, and that we have that second fight yet to come, where it was like a fake, like he didn't actually, the only reason he won was because she wasn't, you know, mentally paying attention or something. And
right.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
She definitely is going to outclass him.
Yeah.
Sometime in the next 3 episodes. But,
and like, don't get me wrong too, like, in order to have survived as long as he has, you know, with Order 66 and whatnot, like, you gotta be pretty skilled, you know what I mean? So obviously there's a bunch of like factors that go into that as to, you know, probably why that is. I was just saying, like, if I had to pick a negative about the show, like just little things like that, at least as I was watching it the first time, I was like, well, can I really buy that she would lose to Balin, that type of thing. But no, I mean, if that's like, you know, the biggest issues you have with the show, I'd say you're sitting pretty good. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. We'll see how they finish off these last 3 episodes, but I'm fully confident that they'll stick the landing, but we shall see.
I didn't know someone was falling.
Okay. Also, one last thing too. I don't know what you thought about the digitally de-aged Anakin, but I don't know how they got it to look so perfect. Yeah, like I don't know. Like,
I think the end of the last episode was the worst.
Yeah.
And then this whole episode, I wasn't really bothered by any of it.
No, like
it didn't take me out.
Yeah, because normally when you see stuff like that, at least me, there's like sometimes like moments where like, you know, it could look fine like most of the time, but then there's like certain things they do. I'm like, oof, yeah, I could definitely tell that was, you know, they definitely had to do a little bit of CGI work there. But like here, now granted, you know, I wasn't paying like super close attention to like his face at all times, but especially like when they were dueling. But I mean, I could not tell a single time where I was like, yeah, they definitely should have put more work into that shot or his expression there. I thought it looked pretty good for at least most of what I saw, but yeah, pretty cool. But with that being said, we will move on. A couple other quick Star Wars related things to go over before we move on, and at least to the next topic. And that is essentially, we have a couple other like delays, unfortunately, to talk about later on in this podcast. But as it pertains to Star Wars, they've announced that Skeleton Crew, which was supposed to come out later this year, they've announced that that has been delayed to some point next year. They didn't specify when.
Who's surprised?
Yeah,
Not me.
as as a lot of things are getting. There's some people saying that this show might get delayed, like literally by an entire year. Like it might not come out till like November, December of next year. Hopefully that's not the case, but obviously, with the strikes and whatnot, you never know what's gonna happen. But yeah, and then they also said that other shows that were supposed to come out next year, like Andor season 2 and The Acolyte, which I'm also very hyped for, are likely going to get delayed as well, either pushed into late next year or possibly even the year after. So unfortunate, but we'll just have to see what happens. But with that being said, there are some new rumors going around that Lucasfilm is still developing a live action Knights of the Old Republic project, as a lot of Star Wars fans have been hoping for quite some time. but yeah, now there's apparently a lot of people are saying that they finally gave the green light for such a project before the strikes. And some people who are like doing full dives into it have even seen like some references to, or I should say potential references to the Old Republic in Ahsoka, actually. I haven't like really looked too much into it, like watched any of those videos, breakdowns or whatever, but apparently some people have seen potential evidence of the Old Republic being canon in the Ahsoka show. But again, we'll have to see. Pretty much just a rumor for now, but I mean, I will say though, at Celebration earlier this year, they did put, like, when they gave an official timeline of like Star Wars, they did have an Old Republic section at like the very beginning. So I mean, who knows, maybe they are finally gonna be diving into that for like the live action movie side of things. But only time will tell, I guess. And then the very last thing we have for Star Wars is that Sean Levy, basically, he's the guy that's going to be, yeah, exactly, Deadpool 3. He revealed that he pitched a Star Wars movie to Lucasfilm that was actually also given the green light right before the strikes happened.
And then they told him to fuck off and have a robot do it.
Yeah, imagine. But yeah, so it sounds like at some point, as long as they work everything out with the strikes and whatnot, once that's taken care of, sounds like Sean Levy might be getting his own Star Wars film at some point in the future, which, I guess we'll have to see how Deadpool 3 does before I, can officially say like, oh, this is a good idea, this is a bad idea, whatever. But I mean, hey, if Deadpool 3 lands like we think it's going to, I think he could do a very good Star Wars film as well. So we shall see how that goes. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Star Wars. Now we're gonna get into a couple different movie and TV show related things, and a couple just quick hitters real quick. And I completely forgot about this, to be honest, until the trailer came out. The Godzilla spin-off show for Apple TV Plus. It's called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters.
I saw
the trailer looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Like the CGI, I literally would have thought it was a movie. Like if you would have told me that was a TV show, I'd be like, no, the CGI is too good.
No way,
like,
yeah.
It cannot, like this is definitely not a TV show budget production. But so I don't know how they pulled that off. Probably because it's Apple. But
I'm about to say.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, we're not gonna be able to show the trailer here because of copyright issues and whatnot. But
This is the man.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in, the Godzilla world, King Kong, now that they crossed that over, all that stuff, I would definitely check out the trailer because it looks pretty cool. And as I said, the CGI looks pretty cool as well. But But yeah, that will officially premiere on November 17th on Apple TV Plus. They finally gave a release or premiere day for that, rather. So we'll see how that goes once that releases in just a few months. But with that being said, a couple other trailers. They released a new Red Band trailer for the boys spinoff show Gen V, which revealed a couple new things, couple new details about the plot and whatnot. Um, you know, I guess we'll have to see once the show releases later this month. But I mean, from what I've seen, the show definitely looks like it has potential. Well, I mean, will it be as good as The Boys? I mean,
Yes.
I don't know. That's
Just saying it now.
that's very large shoes to fill, but
Oh
I
man.
mean, the premise definitely seems interesting. I'll give it to him. So I guess we'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, that show is going to premiere on September 29th. So if you guys don't have anything else to add to that, we will move on.
No, I'm
Question mark?
ready for it.
All right, sounds good. Next up, another trailer. I think in the last podcast we talked about the teaser trailer for this show, but now the full trailer for Mike Flanagan's upcoming Netflix show called The Fall of the House of Usher, released online. Definitely looks crazy. Definitely looks about as crazy as you would probably imagine in an Edgar Allan Poe adaptation looking. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Normally Mike Flanagan's Netflix stuff is pretty typically well received, but I guess we'll see, how that goes and how people like it. But like I said, the trailer definitely looks pretty interesting, but we shall see how that goes. And next up, we have the live action One Piece adaptation to talk about that was just recently released on Netflix a couple weeks ago. And hey, if I'm wrong about something, I'm definitely going to admit it, okay? And I can confidently say I was wrong about this show.
Same.
If you go back to whatever podcast we talked about the trailer, like the first trailer that dropped for this, I was like, like some of the shots look cool, but I still don't think it's gonna be that great. And yeah, I was definitely wrong because it actually was very surprisingly good. As I told Evan the other day, I never thought it would be possible for me to even consider starting to watch the 1,000+ anime of One Piece. But after watching this show, I actually briefly considered it, which is something I never thought in a million years I would consider. But yeah, it's
started it.
Yeah, he started it, which you can say if you want how that's going as well. But yeah, I mean,
no, I'll never finish it. That's how it's gonna go.
Never finish it. But yeah, I mean, is it like the most perfect show you're gonna watch? No, I mean, obviously, it's far from perfect, but just like
one of the best anime adaptations.
Oh, for sure, yeah. If you're looking for an actual good anime adaptation, I mean, look no further than this show because that's it. This is literally the one and only live action anime, at least that I've seen, that's anywhere close to being good. So, what did you think about it? Because I know you've seen it, Evan.
I thought it was pretty good. Like like you were saying, I didn't really have any plans on watching it or anything, and we were in Discord one night and just watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, I might actually continue watching that. That wasn't that bad. And then the next time we talked to each other, we had just finished it. So,
yeah.
I thought it was really good. I thought they casted it really well. I've never seen any of the anime though, so prior to what I just started watching.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen any of it other than like TikTok clips of some of the new animation from the new season.
Yeah.
Which, gets me hype to fucking get through all this mess. But yeah, no, I thought it was really good. Hopefully they continue with it and do their job. Netflix. Stop charging me so much.
Right, dude. But yeah, as you guys can see on the screen here, they one of the producers of the first season recently confirmed that the scripts are basically already done for season
No
2.
shit.
So obviously basically all they're waiting for is, you know, the strikes to be over so they can start filming. But apparently they said that their current plan, or I guess their goal, is to make at least 6 seasons of this show. Will it get to that point? You know, especially considering it's Netflix, I guess we'll have to see. I'm pretty sure they're notorious for like canceling shows after like 2 or 3 seasons, something like that. But yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to season 2. You know, I guess we'll have to see how many seasons they ultimately end up doing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, was very surprised at how good it was, and we'll go from there. But you haven't watched it, right? Or Ben? Pretty good. You should definitely watch it. As I say, pretty much everything you haven't seen. But anyways.
Yeah, dude.
Anyways, now we will get to another upcoming Netflix adaptation that's, you know, the jury's still out on, but you know, hey, they succeeded with One Piece, so maybe this will be somewhat good as well.
Avatar news?
This is the Avatar live
boy,
action
what's the news?
series. So basically, the new updated release time frame for the show is, as you know, as we talked about before, originally it was supposed to release in around like June, July of this year. Then they pushed it to later this year. And now it seems they're delaying it a little bit yet again to February of next year. So
it's gonna get delayed for eternity.
imagine.
And the world's gonna end.
I mean,
is it?
What is
It
that
might not be.
screenshot from?
What, this?
Yeah. at
This,
the top?
yeah. This is from, this is like one of those screenshots that they officially
okay.
released like a couple months ago or whatever. Yeah. This is, I don't know the actor's name, but whoever they got to play Ong, as they say.
Don't fucking say that, dude. You're gonna do it to me, man.
Oh man, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I honestly, like, after seeing what they did with One Piece, I feel a little bit better about what this show could be. But obviously, you know,
But then remembering
they
what
had
they did to Cowboy Bebop.
yeah. But they had, I can't remember his name. Whoever wrote the One Piece manga, they had him involved with the show. They had a
Shonen?
bunch.
No, that's not Shonen. Yep.
They had a bunch of other people who are very knowledgeable about One Piece, the anime, and the manga working on this show. So, you know, it's probably the biggest reason why the show was a success. I don't know if they have that for this show, Avatar. So that'll probably be the difference maker into, or as to whether it turns out to be successful or not. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. But long story short, now it's kind of tentatively scheduled to release in February of next year. And with that being said, we'll move on. As we talked about, I think it was the last podcast or the one before that, we talked about the rumor that the role of Abby had been cast already in the upcoming season 2 of The Last of Us. And the rumor was that Shannon Barry had been cast as Abby, but now there's a little bit there's another rumor added
as Abby.
Yes, a lot of people are now claiming that Florence Pugh, nonetheless.
Are we gonna see a jacked Florence Pugh? Because I'm all for it.
Hey, we very well might. But so the rumor is that she was offered the role of Abby pre-strikes. So that's obviously, if this is even true, you know, in the first place, that's not to say that she's going to accept the role.
Weird That sounds like one of the rumors that just like came out of nowhere.
Yeah. But so I think the rumor that Shannon Barry had been cast that we talked about last time, it was My Time to Shine Hello who reported that. And she actually was also one of the ones that reported this. But then she also claimed that her source that told her about Shannon Barry still maintains that Shannon Barry is the one that had been cast as Abby. So who knows who has been cast? But it sounds like it's pretty much down to either Florence Pugh or Shannon Barry as to who gets cast in The Last of Us Season 2 as Abby. But I don't know. Do you guys have a preference on either one? Or are you just going to ride with the flow either
Obviously not. I mean,
going with the flow on it.
I like Florence Pugh, but I just don't understand where that fits.
Yeah, I feel like part of it is just like she's a big name now, right? And she's obviously a really good actor, so maybe they just kind of like how they did bring in Pedro Pascal as Joel. I feel like it might just be one of those things where, you know, they're trying to bring in more hype to the show. Not to say that that's the only reason, right? Maybe they're just like, hey, you know, she's a good actor. We feel like she's the best for the role of Abby and decided to bring her in. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's like I said, I haven't seen Shannon Barry in pretty much anything, at least that I can think of. But just based off looks alone, I mean, she definitely looks like a carbon copy of the Abby character from the video games. But like I said, you know, I haven't really seen her act in anything, so I don't know, you know, if they were putting more stock into, you know, the acting side of things, or if they wanted to go for someone that just has the look of Abby. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but basically, like I said, it sounds like it's down to them. But we shall see what happens. Hopefully, you know, we'll get more information soon. Probably not until the strikes are over, but with that being said, a few movie related things to talk about now. The first of which, a couple trailers. And the first of those trailers is the first official trailer for David Fincher's next film called The Killer, starring none other than Michael Fassbender, has released online. And the early reviews for the movie are also pretty good from what I had seen. I haven't really done too much of a deep dive into it, so I don't really know precisely what people are saying about the film. But I just know that the vast majority of reviews have been pretty good for the movie so far. And if you see the trailer, definitely looks like a David Fincher movie. That's for sure. It seems like he's kind of going back to that like neo-noir like type film. That's definitely right up his alley. But yeah, I mean, I thought the trailer looked pretty decent. I don't know if you guys have checked out the trailer yet or not, but
I haven't actually. I'll have to check that out.
yeah. But yeah, I think I can't remember exactly when it's coming out. So I think it has like a limited release in theaters for a little bit, and then it's coming out on Netflix. Yeah, here it says limited theatrical release on October 27th. Will then debut on Netflix on November 10th. So there you have it for anyone interested about that. And with that being said,
watch it on Netflix. So.
Yeah, for sure. Especially because, you know, it's only like 2 weeks after it's out in theaters. But anyways, we move on to a few other trailers very quickly. The first of which, the official trailer number 2 for the live action Five Nights at Freddy's adaptation released.
I didn't see that.
Definitely looks very cool. Definitely looks very interesting. A lot of things pretty much pulled right from the video games in terms of like lore and like the visual designs of the different animatronics and whatnot. But yeah, you know, we'll have to see. That's another one that comes out, you know, pretty soon, some point next month. I can't remember exactly when, but October 27th. Isn't that literally the exact day that The Killer comes out? That we just talked about. I don't know. Either way, I don't remember. Both come out late October, and yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. But it seems like a lot of people are pretty hyped for this movie now, at least based off the trailer. And next up, we finally got the first official trailer for Zack Snyder's upcoming Rebel Moon movie, which comes out in December of this year. Let me see if they have the exact release date on here, December 22nd. And curiously enough, at the end of the trailer, they revealed that part 2, because we knew that they were doing at least 2 movies. The second movie is coming out in April of next year, which is quite a quick turnaround between movies. Obviously, I didn't think the part 2 would be out until at least the end of next year, right? Like I thought they'd give it at least a full year between releases, but nope, it's coming on less than half a year between the time
Yeah, they're really about
that the first movie comes out. But I will say though, like, and you know, you can say this about pretty much any Zack Snyder film, like visually the movie definitely looks pretty cool. You know, a lot of cool shots, a lot of cool like designs for like certain locations and characters and whatnot, but also, as in every Zack Snyder film we've seen, the story, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how good the movie actually ends up being. But like I said, just judging by the trailer alone, it definitely looks like it has potential. I'll give it that. But did you guys check out this trailer yet or not?
This is the second one you said, right?
Yeah, so not like the teaser trailer,
not.
but like the full trailer. It was like a couple weeks ago, I think.
Oh
came
yeah,
out.
yeah. Then I did, yeah.
I think we did. Yeah, because I remember we talked
Yeah.
about it a little bit. Yeah, you
I
definitely
thought
saw
it looked cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck anything is,
Yeah,
but
sure.
it looks interesting, and like some of the characters look cool, so
Yeah,
I definitely peep it.
I thought it was funny that he included like his own version of lightsabers in this
Yeah.
world in the trailers. As we know, like he originally pitched it to Lucasfilm as a Star Wars film, and they're like, nah, we're
Yeah,
not doing that.
I'm like, fine, I'll make
And
my
he's
own
like-
Star Wars
he's
film.
like- It's like, you didn't say I couldn't have lightsabers in it, but yeah, like I said, visually looks cool. You know, everything
You're gonna
else
regret
we'll have to
that.
see. So I have to see how it plays out. But what'd you say?
I said you're gonna regret that. Is what he was saying.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Moving on. Interestingly enough, the co-showrunner on The Last of Us TV show, Craig Mazin, as in however you want to say his name or however it's pronounced, he revealed that right before the strikes happened, he was actually given the green light to make a 6th Pirates of the Caribbean
Oh
movie.
my god, I know. I'll watch it. I love the Pirates movies, but they are getting wild.
He did not mention as to whether Johnny Depp would be returning in this movie
Nobody's gonna watch it if he doesn't.
as the good old Captain Jack Sparrow, but yeah, I don't know, we'll have to see. Obviously, you know, it's still like very, because like I said, he said it was just given the green light like right before the strikes. Obviously, it's still like very early in, like they probably don't even have like a full script written yet, but so yeah, we'll have to wait probably quite a while before we know anything really further about what this movie is or what it could be. But yeah, that's basically it. That's all really the only information we have to share about that right now. Next up, a little bit more unfortunate news. Dune Part 2 has now officially been delayed to March 15th of next year. I mean, it's unfortunate, but we pretty much saw it coming. They pretty much warned us like months in advance of the delay. But yeah, I still was holding out some semblance of hope that, you know, they wouldn't have to delay it. But ultimately, they decided to, in fact, delay it. Which, I mean, like, it's not a crazy delay, right? Like, it's only what, like 3-4 months, but yeah, at the end of the day, still a little bit unfortunate that they had to delay it. But hey, at least now the Marvels can have those IMAX screenings that they wanted that they couldn't have before, since Dune Part 2 was coming out around the same time. But Anyways, yeah, we'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully, they don't delay it any further than that, but I guess it's impossible to know with the strikes and whatnot. And with that being said, a little bit of an interesting rumor has been doing the rounds, and those rumors are claiming that Christopher Nolan is actually being sought after to direct the next two James Bond films, which are obviously going to be they're like
those would
rebooting.
be nutty.
They're doing like a reboot of the series or whatever, and apparently he's like the studio's top choice to direct those movies if he obviously agrees to it. Apparently
I doubt he does, but that would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, well, didn't he mention in the past that he would be open to directing a James? I can't remember if it's him or someone else.
You act like I've had a conversation with the man.
well, I'm not
Didn't
saying
he
like
mention in a personal conversation with you.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, let's see if they talk about that in this article at all. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking for that. What would you guys think if he does end up directing?
Oh, dude, you heard me, man. That'd be fucking awesome.
Sheesh.
I'm all for it.
With it.
Only if it's Idris Elba, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. They don't mention. Oh wait, earlier this year, Nolan said this about potentially helming a James Bond movie. I love those movies. The influence of those movies is embarrassingly apparent in his own movies. It would be an amazing privilege to do one. At the same time, when you take on a character that you are working with particular set of constraints. So it's kind of responsibility I also felt very much when taking on Batman. You wouldn't want to take on a film without being fully committed with what you bring. So it sounds like, he definitely would want to have like a clear vision as to where he would want to take the film. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely a good sign that he said he likes the James Bond franchise, and it would be a privilege to do one. But I don't know, I guess we'll have to see. But they also mentioned here that if that doesn't work out, other possibilities would include Danny Boyle, Denis Villeneuve, and Paul Greengrass. So, I mean, you guys know me. I'm a pretty big Denis Villeneuve fan, to say the least. So if it doesn't work out with Nolan, I'd probably want him.
He's be making 12 Dune movies.
Yeah. I mean, hey, dude,
he's busy.
Who's to say he can't? He can't throw James Bond in there as well, dude. No, he'd definitely have to wait until he's done with Dune. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. But with that being said, apparently, I say apparently, it's proven that he did say this, but Warner Bros. CEO David Zaslav recently said that properties such as DC, Lord of the Rings, and Harry Potter have all been vastly underused by the company lately, and he wants to go back essentially to those franchises, making Warner Bros. A lot of money. So some people are all for this, and other people are a little bit cautious about it, because they're concerned, rightfully so, that they're just going to start basically milking these franchises dry, like just start making like a whole bunch of stuff with each of these that really doesn't need to be made, as we've already talked about before, like with the Lord of the Rings stuff, and like them announcing they want to do a bunch of new movies and whatnot with like spin-off characters. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really know about it. I mean, DC, we already know, they're doing their whole thing with the new DCU, James Gunn and whatnot. And Harry Potter, they've announced that, at some point, they're making a reboot as a TV show and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why he says that they're still being underused, even despite all of these things that are coming out.
Bro, you know how much money they could have made off of Harry Potter, and they were like, you know what?
We need more.
Scamander. Newt Scamander, we're gonna make movies about him.
Yeah, true. But
not that I didn't like him, but
right, yeah.
I'm also a huge nerd of Harry Potter, and the last two were meh.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I thought the first Fantastic Beasts movie was actually pretty good. I like that
Yeah,
one.
no, I mean it wasn't Harry Potter, but it was
Yeah.
definitely like in Harry Potter.
Yeah. It definitely
It
felt
felt
like it
like
was
it
in that
existed.
like fantastical world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I didn't think it was not canon like Chris Child.
What
Not canon, by the way.
do you mean, dude? Cursed Child is canon. No, I'm trolling you, but yeah. I guess we'll have to see if they decide to do anything else with these franchises, at least anything else than, they've already announced that's upcoming. But anyways, that's pretty much it for what I got on the TV show movie side of things. So now we will transition to some Marvel related things, and boy, do we have some interesting rumors to talk about. And with that being said, Ben, do you want to kick things off on the Marvel side of things?
Yeah, so we have a new trailer for the season 2 of Loki dropped a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Despite other shows getting moved around, it's still on track to premiere in early October. Additionally, multiple scoopers are claiming that He Who Remains will somehow return in the upcoming season. And it's kind of crazy if the rumors are true, if he apparently is in half the episodes of this season 2.
Yeah. Yeah,
All
so
for it, baby.
Yeah, I am too, yeah.
yeah, a lot of people weren't really sure how much, Jonathan Majors as a bunch of
Oh,
King
Disney
variants was
was like,
going to be
hey,
in
we're
the show
doing it.
because of the allegations and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, it sounds like he's going to be in quite a bit of the upcoming season still. Now, as to He Who Remains returning, or as Ben said, somehow returning, which I had to mute my mic to laugh about that one because when I
Hey, bro.
when I heard that, I just instantly thought of the line from episode 8 or 9 Star Wars when he's like, somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah.
But
Somehow Palpatine returned.
obviously they're gonna have a reason as to how He Who Remains returns in this show. But
I mean, he even says it in the first season. You kill me now, I'm coming back. Reincarnation, baby.
true,
Like,
yeah, true. But he's also talking about his other variants, I'm assuming. But
he's talking about himself and his other variants. His unlimited universes.
Now, that does make me think, though, if he is coming back, do you guys think that there's a chance that he is the one that ends up being like, oh, the big bad Kang of like the Kang Dynasty and potentially even the Secret Wars movies?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. Well, I did ask if you knew if that was going to happen. I said, do you think it might happen?
I don't know.
Sheesh. Yeah, I don't know, because I think we talked about, there was a rumor a while ago too that said that he was going to be in those movies, but he was going to be an ally to the Avengers in those movies, going up against like his evil variant of, whatever Kang variant they decide to go with as the main villain for those movies. But I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do with the character, but definitely interesting that they're bringing that variant back. But I mean, yeah, either way, I'm very excited for the upcoming season, and we don't have to wait too much longer.
So next on my list here, we have What If Season 2 is currently being heavily rumored to be releasing in late December. A tentative list of episodes names have also been possibly leaked recently.
Wait, what is this for?
What If Season 2?
Oh,
Yeah, so I'll pull up those episodes on the stream here for anyone that is interested. But these are the 9 rumored episodes. Obviously, we don't know for sure if this is going to end up being the case. From what I'd seen, like, some people say this is mostly accurate, but like some of these might not end up happening, or they've been switched out for other episodes. So we'll have to see, what the final, total of episodes looks like when season 2 releases. But as of now, we got a what if Gamora killed Thanos episode. What if Captain Carter finds the Hydra Stomper, which is continued from season 1. What if the Tesseract landed in I don't even know what this is. How Denisney, I don't know, Confederacy before the colonization of America. What if Hank Pym and Janet fought the Red Guardian during the 80s? What if Yondu delivered Star-Lord's ego? What if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? Which is like, I guess in like the Iron Man 3 timeline. What if Wanda had grown up watching musicals instead of sitcoms? What if Odin and Hela had faced Wenwu? That's interesting.
That is interesting.
And what if the Avengers had fought Surtur, the fire demon? So yeah, I mean, it was like a good mix and match of like the cool ones and like more comedic ones, like the Happy Hogan Christmas one. But I mean, yeah, I guess we'll have to see. But just based off this list of potential episodes, I think most of them are pretty interesting, at least by the sounds of them.
Think there's going to be a story within a story on the what if episodes like season 1?
Probably. I don't know. I have no clue. I'd imagine they'll probably try to do something like that, but I don't know how they will do it if they do decide to do it again. But yeah, that would be cool.
You know
Yeah.
who did decide to do it again?
What's up?
You know who did decide to do it again?
I know I was saying who.
Oh. Brittany.
I knew it. And I was like, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to call him out. But then he did it. He did the thing that I thought he never would.
Yeah. I'm going to leave. You guys take over the rest of the podcast.
I'm not
I'll see you
sticking
later.
around if you leave.
So, I have Agatha spin-off series has officially changed its title for the 3rd time. It will now be called Agatha Darkhold Diaries, the show.
They gotta make their mind up, man.
Bro, I swear, this is like the 5th. They're actually lying about this. This is probably the 5th time they changed their show.
It's been a lot. Yeah.
So the show has also been delayed to next October. And the Witches Road special presentation will supposedly release right before Agatha sometime next fall. Interesting.
Yeah. Basically, what, like a year delay from when it was supposed to come out? Something like that.
Cool.
Sounds about right.
But yeah, I don't know.
This whole podcast and the past 4 podcasts could be summed up, and it's delayed.
Pretty much.
See you next week.
Oh, it gets worse too. Just wait.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
Yeah. So then, Echo has officially been delayed a few months and will now release in January of next year.
Hey, that's not bad. It's not bad. It's only a 2-month delay, you know?
Yeah, for now.
Yes, until you
They're
read
just
this.
gonna drop it all in one day and be like, all right.
Well, that's why I was
Wait
saying,
for
like,
it
that's what I was saying, like, I don't know why they would delay this show because they're obviously done with it, right? Like the other shows, I understand, right? Because they're either like midway through production when the strikes happened, or you know, something along those lines. But this show, they've been done for a while, at least. You know, that's the word
Yeah,
going
the rumor
around.
is it's bad.
So I don't know.
They're saying the
why they
same
would
thing about
delay
Aquaman
this movie,
too.
but oh yeah, trust me, we're gonna be getting into that
Rumors,
one.
they're afraid nobody's gonna go see it because Amber Heard.
It's gonna be better than Morbius, though.
Trust
Actually,
me,
Morbius will
there's-
probably be better.
Trust me,
No,
we
I'll
get
give
we
Morbius one thing, and it's I'd rather watch that than Aquaman 2.
It's Mobo time.
It's Mobin time.
Don't worry. Aquaman 2
about
is
to
gonna have
mob.
its place on this podcast at the end, but
I'm finna mode.
So additionally, with Echo being delayed a few months, Daredevil now, Daredevil Born Again, and Wonder Man are now delayed indefinitely due to the ongoing strikes.
yes.
Great.
So, if you thought that was worse,
Good.
Ironheart
Just
has-
rip the band-aid off.
here we go. We're doing it. Ironheart has officially been taken off Marvel's release schedule entirely. The rumored reason for this is because Marvel wants it
bad.
to release closer to Armor Wars. Okay, I can understand that, as both projects will supposedly tie in heavily.
Yeah. That one, yeah, that you're right. That does make more sense if they want to
Watch it not,
have that
though.
close in.
They just go in two different directions.
Yep.
Just completely rewrite the script. It's like, you just delayed this for nothing. It actually has nothing to do with Armor Wars now, but
I can see it.
yeah, we'll see. But as Evan said, basically just a whole lot of delays is essentially the news for this week. But we got some other juicy rumors to talk about though too. So continue on. Ben.
I don't know how you felt about She-Hulk 2, but My Time to Shine Hello claims that season 2 of She-Hulk was greenlit by Marvel before the strikes happened. So I'm A-okay with that.
Is that sarcasm or are you actually?
No, I actually really thoroughly enjoyed She-Hulk.
Okay.
Even though
Yeah,
it really was cheesy.
Do you think they just go with like the sitcom approach again and just have like every episode be like different? Or do you think like,
I hope it's fourth wall breaking.
to have like an actual overall story this time?
Honestly, of all the shows, this is the one I had no idea what a season 2 would ever be.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't
Dude, what if
I
they
don't really
just
know
switched tones and it was a serious show?
They just try to make it like Secret Invasion. It's just like, hey, we got a green character. The scrolls are green. Like, let's just make it like Secret
They're
Invasion,
the
dude.
same.
The same. Oh man, but yeah, I have no idea what they would even begin to do with the season 2 either. I would imagine they would just do a bunch of like random episodes again that really have like no narrative ties in with each other, but I don't know. I guess we'll see if they even like still continue with it after the strikes are done, but
So, and we shall also see for, I don't know how they could do this, but I guess it's a thing, but rumored runtime for the Marvels is said to be 1 hour and 30 minutes, which would make it the shortest MCU movie to release by far, but additionally, the film could very well still be delayed if the strikes aren't over with soon. Which I would figure, why not just keep it going? And
yeah.
I mean, it would only hinder the movie more if you keep delaying it.
Yeah. I think the only reason why they might delay it is if they know that like the next movies aren't going to be out for a while, right? Like, because what's the next one that's supposed to be out? Like Deadpool 3, I think, is the next one. If they know like, hey, like Deadpool is literally not going to be able to release until like the like very late next year at the earliest, maybe they're like, okay, we kind of want to reduce the gap between those movies more, right? Because if the Marvels comes out in November and then Deadpool 3 doesn't come out until like November of next year, that's like a year-long gap, right? between Marvel movies. So maybe that's why maybe they want to like reduce the gap between movies. I don't know. That's really the only thing I could think of. But as to the hour and a half long runtime, I mean, I'm all for it. I honestly, just based off the trailers, it doesn't look like there's like a whole lot of like crazy, like complex
Yeah.
story going on. So I would much prefer it just be like, like action all the way through, like very fast paced, straight to the point. Um, so the rumor is why it's so short is because they ended up cutting a lot of a lot of the musical scenes. Remember that? Remember that rumor we talked about a little while ago
God.
that like literally like 30 minutes of the movie was going to take place on this planet where people can only communicate in like song and dance.
I'm not watching it.
So
If that's the case.
well that's the thing. That's apparently why
I
it's
want the director's cut.
it's short is that they cut out a lot of those scenes from the movie because apparently that was like when they did like the test screenings, that was like the one thing that like audiences didn't really like about the movie, but which is understandable because I would say the same thing. If I saw that in the test screens, I'd be like, okay, I'm all for doing unique stuff, but I don't know.
Marvel's
That's
hot
just
take
that's
on
just a little too far.
High School Musical.
Yeah, but and, I mean, if it's like one scene, like that's one thing, like the musical scene in Hawkeye, right? Like, if it's just like one scene, that's that's fine. But like 30 minutes of that, like, nah, come on, we can't do that.
Yeah, that's rough.
But yeah, I guess we'll see.
I will say though, and it's just me,
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
anytime there's a musical piece into a movie, it's just not for me. I get really awkward.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, don't want any part of that number at all.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Speaking of numbers, we have 3 things left on this list here. The first of which we have My Time to Shine Hello claims that Ghost Rider's solo project was in development by Marvel before the strikes, and that Nicolas Cage will return as the one version of Ghost Rider in the upcoming project.
Nicolas Cage is back, boys. Supposedly.
I'm all for that, for sure.
Now,
If that's the case.
they didn't specify if he was going to be in this like Ghost Rider spinoff or solo project, whatever. I would assume not. I think that's like a separate thing. They're saying like Nick Cage will come back as Ghost Rider in something like Secret Wars or like maybe like Deadpool 3, something like that. I think like the Ghost Rider solo project is like a whole other thing that's like in the actual like MCU universe, but I don't know how they're gonna do it, but definitely all for it either way, for sure.
So
Ben is obviously
sorry,
ecstatic.
I'm reading ahead here.
No, you're good. You're good.
We have Avengers Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars writers Jeff Loveness and Michael Waldron have reportedly been dropped from those respective projects. It's unknown who might Marvel be looking at to replace them currently at this time.
Wait, for what?
Thank goodness. I'm trolling. I would never be happy about someone losing their jobs, but probably for the best.
Michael Waldron, why we like Loki season 1?
Yeah, but Multiverse of Madness.
I mean,
was it bad? No, but was it what it could have been?
It wasn't necessarily the story that was the problem. It was how overhyped it was to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Movie.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you on that. Welcome Enviro Earth 2 to the chat. What's up? Nicolas Cage was rumored to return for National Treasure 2. Was he? I did not see that. That would be awesome.
Bring back all the Nick Cage movies. We're doing Face Off 2, boys.
It's just they bring him back like what they did with Harrison Ford when he's just like returning to like Star Wars and like Indiana Jones. Yeah, they just bring him back to like all his old roles again. That'd be actually hilarious. But Um, but yeah, what did you ask before that, Evan?
Wait, what?
Oh, I thought you had asked something like before, like right when Ben was done talking. I thought you had asked something, but
Oh, I don't know. I got thrown off by the Nick Cage. Let's go.
no worries, no
Um,
worries.
he was saying that he's really looking forward to see the National Treasure Ghost Rider in
Oh
60
yeah,
seconds.
that must have been what it was. It must have been.
Oh God, it's 60 seconds. I forgot about that.
But no, for those of you that don't know, Michael Waldron, he was originally attached to write Secret Wars, and previously he had wrote the script for Multiverse of Madness and Loki season 1. And then Jeff Loveness, he wrote the script for Quantumania. You know, I'll just leave that there. I'll just leave that there. But he was supposed to be writing the script
Ant-Man,
for
A New Hope.
Avengers King Dynasty.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
exactly.
really.
There you go. But yeah,
What was the Nick Cage movie that came out with him and the Last of Us dude?
Pedro Pascal?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember what it was called.
The Hollywood one?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Where Nick Cage plays himself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I don't remember what that was called either. Oh well.
Anywho,
wait, hold on before you move on.
Yeah.
I have one suggestion to throw out there for you guys, or I guess one question. I've seen a lot of people saying that a certain 2 individuals should take over as the writer for at least Secret Wars. And
Yo, if it's the fucking
go ahead.
Russo brothers.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's what I say. I almost like Coen brothers. That's wild.
They got him on there. No, it's Phil Lord and Chris Miller, the writers of the Spider-Verse movies. People are saying that Marvel should hire them to be the writers of Secret Wars, which, I mean, think about it, it makes sense, right? Like they already have experience writing a lot of different characters and a lot of different multiversal characters and variants into one story. I mean, it would make sense if they got them to I guess be the new writers of Secret Wars, which I'd be all for. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Now you can continue. I just had to throw that in there.
So we have multiple scoopers are claiming that Sam Raimi is Marvel's top choice to direct the Secret Wars movie. However, most recent rumors claim that Sean Levy and Alfonso Cuarón could be in the running as well to direct the movie.
So out of those 3 options, who would you guys prefer to direct Secret Wars?
I mean, I like Sam Raimi, but like, give him a Spider-Man movie. Get him out of Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I agree. I think now, don't get me wrong, Cuarón is a phenomenal director, right? But he obviously doesn't have any experience with, comic book superhero movies, anything like that, especially like combining just like an absolute ridiculous amount of characters into one movie. So therefore, I think of these 3 options, to me personally, I think Sean Levy might be the best option. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
So what projects did he do?
So he's directed quite a few episodes of Stranger Things. Obviously, quite a few characters in there, and then obviously Deadpool 3, as we've mentioned, he's going to be directing. Which, like I said, if Deadpool 3 is anywhere close to as good as it sounds like it's going to be, I think he should be the clear-cut favorite to direct Secret Wars. But again, we'll have to see how that goes. But
a Sean Levy fucking Multiverse of Madness would have been awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that's essentially what Deadpool 3 is going to be. It's essentially like the Fox characters version of Multiverse of Madness, right? So
yeah, that is true.
But yeah, that would be my choice if I had to pick between those three.
I
Well, I
agree.
guess I was gonna say, I guess you guys are in agreement. I don't hear any
No, like honestly, like
disagreements. But
I'm cool with it.
and that's not to say the other two are bad directors, right? I'm
yeah, no,
just saying
just for what we want.
exactly
It's
right.
not that. If we make another Evil Dead movie,
Sheesh.
give me Sam Raimi or nobody.
Yeah. Well, didn't they? Wasn't the last one they did without him?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Oh, there you have it.
I said give me Sam Raimi or nobody. I didn't say other people.
True. What else you got, Ben?
I believe I've run out of things to say.
Oh, okay. Say less, say less. Evan, do you want to continue? I think we got some
No,
Jesus.
I think we got some other, well, we got some more pretty interesting Deadpool 3 stuff, potentially, rumors wise, to talk about, but.
okay.
Yo.
Moving on to other stuff. Undeadpool related. No, I'm just kidding. Daniel RPK has claimed that Liv Schreiber, sorry, I had an S in there, is set to return as Victor Creed in Deadpool 3, despite other scoopers claiming previously that would not be happening. RPK further added that Ben Affleck will not be returning as Daredevil in the film, and that the ending will lead directly into the events of Secret Wars.
Another reason why I said they might want to get him to direct Secret Wars, but.
Ooh.
But yeah, as for the other stuff, I mean, it's basically just he said, she said at this point. Like who knows who knows who has the right version of events, right? Like some people are saying Schreiber is going to be in there, other people not. Some people are saying Ben Affleck is going to be in there, other people not. I mean, who knows what's going to happen when this movie comes out, but either way, just the amount of potential characters we could get in there is pretty wild, but I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I don't take any of these rumors for anything anymore.
He was
Ben,
in terms of Ben Affleck, he was on the set. Like they did spot him.
Oh no, I'm
officially
not.
on the
I'm
set
not talking specifics.
movie,
I'm just
but
talking like
in general, yeah.
any of this shit, even if they were on set, like could not exist when the movie comes
Oh, for
out.
sure, yeah.
But yeah, in a separate report, Daniel RPK claimed that Daniel Radcliffe was secretly cast in Deadpool 3 before the strikes. He didn't mention what the role might be, but as I am, many are theorizing that he could be playing a variant of Wolverine.
Sheesh.
I don't know if you've seen.
Oh, I've seen.
I've seen him in.
That dude is ripped now, dude. He is.
Fuck.
I don't know. I can't remember what it is either. I've just seen I've just seen clips of it, but
Little Miracle, Big Miracles, or something like that. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, no, he is a shredded like Shredder.
Yeah.
From TMNT.
Yeah.
My boy, that's my boy who lived, bro.
The boy who lives.
The boy who lived, come to lift.
It's the rumor is that apparently early on in the movie, Deadpool is going to be going to a bunch of different timelines to try and find the best variant of Wolverine. And
he's just short enough.
Yeah. And he's gonna come across like a bunch of different Wolverine variants. I'm imagining Radcliffe, he might be one of them. And then eventually he'll realize that Hugh Jackman just can't be recast as Wolverine. Like that's like the rumored like early introduction of how like Hugh Jackman gets introduced into the equation as Wolverine. But
I'm all for it. Meta funnies.
Yeah, we'll have to see, but yeah, I'm all for it. If so, I mean, even if he's not Wolverine, just him being in there, I mean, I'm all for it, dude.
Oh, okay. But not moving on, staying on the same topic, different subject.
Yes.
Can we get some toast claims that Marvel entered negotiations with Daphne Keane pre-strikes to potentially bring her back as an adult Laura, or otherwise known as X-23 and Deadpool 3? Should be pretty cool. I don't know what she looks like now, but I'm assuming she's older, just like that's how time works.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, definitely quite a bit older, obviously. But yeah, this is something that I was really hoping that they would do ever since that they announced Hugh Jackman was coming back as Wolverine in the film. Obviously, you know, up until now, basically the rumor was that she would not be returning. It was just, you know, only recently that some people were like, ah, you know, she might have been in negotiations before the strikes happened, but you know, I guess we'll have to see what happens, or at least, you know, wait till the strikes are over to hear any more, you know, information on how the negotiations are going, if they even want to continue it at that point. But yeah, I'm hoping that they do find a way to get her on board the movie.
Money, probably.
Yeah, true. You're not wrong.
But staying on we got two more for the MCU side of things. Multiple different scoopers are claiming that Josh Hartnett is Marvel's top choice to play Doctor Doom in the MCU. Jeff Snyder added that Eben Mos-Bakrat, butchered it, but could actually be playing Ben Grimm in Fantastic Four rather than the Silver Surfer. Huh.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. I hear Doctor Doom. I don't think Josh Hartnett.
Sheesh. So,
I mean, he could be, but that's just not who I think.
yeah. So cause I looked it up beforehand because I did not recognize who this guy was. I'm gonna be real with you. Before,
Really?
when I saw this, and then you know I recognized
He stopped acting for a while. I think,
Yeah.
and then came back with Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I was gonna say because once I saw his face, I definitely recognized him from Oppenheimer. And I think there was one other movie recently I saw him in, but I can't remember off the top of my head what it was. Let me see. Oh, it's not a movie. It was so the latest season of Black Mirror that came out over the summer. He was in that episode that was in space with Aaron Paul that I said was phenomenal, and I still stand by that. So yeah, I mean, like I haven't seen him in a whole lot aside from those two things, so I can't really say for sure that I can see him as Doctor Doom, but I mean, if that's who they want, I mean,
Look at discount Chris Hemsworth.
Sheesh. Could I picture Chris Hemsworth as Doctor Doom? No, I could not.
Yeah, no, me neither.
But like I said, I mean, they obviously probably know way more about their plans than I do, or any of us do. So if that's who they think is going to be the best Doctor Doom, if this is even true in the first place, then I mean, I trust they know what they're doing.
All right, well, moving on to one thing that is kind of wild. The second half of it, at least. The first half, I'm not entirely surprised. But My Time to Shine Hello claims that Matt Smith passed on the role of Reed Richards right before the strikes, and that, wait for it, Jake Gyllenhaal,
no way,
otherwise
Prince of
known
Persia,
as Mysterio, yes, Prince of Persia, was the last actor to have been offered the role, even though he has already played a role in the MCU, aka Mysterio.
Yeah, this is so. Before we get into this,
I'd love for him to be Reed Richards if he wasn't already Mysterio.
Yeah, the only way it could work, right,
Is if
is
he was Mysterio the whole time. He's not
okay.
actually Reed Richards.
Okay, no, I don't, I don't know about
No,
that.
that's what you said. All right, moving on.
No, so some people are suggesting that the Fantastic Four are actually from a different universe when we are introduced to them in the Fantastic Four movie, and that by the end of the movie, they'll somehow find their way into the MCU, like the main 616 MCU universe. So that's really the only way I could see this working
They
out.
can't, dude, because Spider-Man has to be in the movies with them, and him and Jake Gyllenhaal can't be on camera together because they cannot control themselves.
Are you saying like from experience on the set, like you saw it happen?
Yeah, dude, I was
that's
there.
crazy. It's crazy.
I
Yeah,
was a
forgot about
gaffer,
that.
dude. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, bro, I've been here for 27 hours. I'm trying to go
Just
home.
yeah, imagine. I guess they're just gonna have to not have Spider-Man and Reed Richards have any scenes together. That's the only way. That's the only way. But yeah, no, I just don't know. I don't know how it could work if it was anything other than that. But I mean, do I think he would do a good job as Reed Richards? Yes. But I just don't know how they're gonna work it out. If this is even true to begin with. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I said what I thought.
Sheesh.
I mean,
He's just saying just doing whatever he wants.
I get. I mean, I don't. I mean, I guess I would just have to see how it all plays out.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it just depends what type of story they're trying to go with for the movie, but I guess we'll see.
Okay, well, that ended with a fucking bang. That's all I have for MCU news. I have DC
Yes.
news. Am I supposed to just keep going?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, we trust me, we got some interesting stuff to talk about here.
Okay, I'm blowing through. Multiple scoopers have claimed that Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2 will introduce Gray Dixon, and that they were looking for actors around 13 years old to play him. That'd be perfect, by the way. My Time to Shine Hello has also claimed that Clayface will appear in the film, not the first time we've heard that, and that he could potentially be introduced earlier, such as the Penguin spin-off show, which would make sense.
Yeah, I'm still I'm still not sure how they are going to do a character like Clayface in such a grounded, realistic Batman universe that Matt Reeves has created, but I mean, I guess anything is possible, you know.
He's just got like a tumor on his face.
Imagine. No, I wouldn't.
It gets
want
inflamed
that.
and grows, and
I would not want to see Clayface unless they can do him at least close to, what we know him as, like from the
I
comics.
want a pile
and
of animated mud. Come on.
Exactly, dude. Who doesn't want to see that?
Me. I'm just kidding.
Sheesh.
I'd love to see it. But but on the other side of that, Dick Grayson's like perfect.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
His Batman. Do you think it's
Yeah.
gonna be that kid that he saw? I mean, it's not, because it's not his name. But
Yeah, especially if they're looking for a 13-year-old kid actor. I don't know if that
True.
would fit, but
although how old is that kid? He had to be like at least like 9.
wait, who are we talking about?
The kid in the movie.
Okay, well are you talking about the kid whose dad got killed at the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the kid on the subway that he lets go when he's beating up the other gang
that's
dudes.
a man. That's a 17-year-old man.
Well, yeah, he's a teenager, I guess, but I thought you were talking about him at first because there was rumors that could end up being the future Robin in this universe, but yeah, no, I could see it being that kid as well from the beginning. I guess I don't know. I guess what did they say his name, the kid's name in the movie? I can't remember.
No, but I mean, you can get the last name at least
Yeah, that's true.
from his dad. But whatever, dude. Dick Grayson would be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But moving on to a new little thingy here that I got for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Fresh off the grapevine. New DCU boss, James Gunn, has recently come under fire after old Facebook posts were uncovered. Oh, here we go again. After old Facebook posts were uncovered in which he states that Christopher Nolan's Batman films were not very good. Is this a good or bad sign for the DCU? Bro, I can't even read that shit with a straight face. Who cares?
Yeah, I had to include this dude because so many people were blowing up about it online, and it was hilarious to watch unfold. For those of you that are wondering what the heck we're talking about, this right here is like his full quote, right? I guess some of his quotes. So he has since removed these from his Facebook profile. He's since deleted these. But essentially, he's said a bunch of other stuff about like past Batman movies as well, but just pertaining to the Christopher Nolan movies. He said, let me find it here. I have no idea how you can think that the Burton Batman has more similarities with Moore or Miller's Batman than Nolan's does. Okay, you know, that's pretty solid praise, I guess, right there. But then he says, and listen, I have problems with both of Nolan's films. I think this was before, I think he said this before The Dark Knight Rises came out, so there's only 2 films out at that time. I don't think either one is a classic, and I don't even really think Batman Begins is good. Now, he didn't he didn't rope The Dark Knight into the last part that he said he didn't think is good. He just said Batman Begins he doesn't think is very good. Well, and he also adds at the end here he thinks they're far superior to the first Batman.
Who cares?
Yeah.
This was 11 years ago, and he's made many good movies since then.
True, yeah. If he,
so
I will say this,
not affecting how we can make movies.
Yeah, I will say this. If I had not seen the Guardians trilogy and his Suicide Squad movie, I would honestly be pretty concerned about these remarks, because I'd be like, okay, if he doesn't think The Dark Knight are good Batman movies, like what is he?
No, he says he doesn't think either one is a classic.
True, yeah, but Batman Begins is good. Yeah,
which true. It's the least of the 3, I think.
For sure, it's definitely the worst of the 3, but I wouldn't go so far. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's not good.
That know makes film.
Yeah, for sure.
Like that knows the ins and outs of making a movie, and
yeah. But I also would never say that. I would also never say that the Dark Knight is not a classic either. But you know, it's like you said. You know, agree to disagree. I guess you know what I mean. But as you also said, he does have a very impressive body of work when it comes to superhero films. So therefore, I'm not that concerned until we see, you know, whatever his vision is for Batman in the DCU. But what do you think, Ben? Be the tiebreaker here.
You know,
oh boy.
I couldn't give you an answer.
Sheesh. Well, okay. You've seen Christopher Nolan's Batman movies, right? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Good or bad?
I liked them.
Okay, dude, you can't just good bad. Like,
well, I'm trying to cut to the chase here. I'm trying to get to
out of leading the witness, Your Honor.
Out of all three of them, The Dark Knight is the best one.
Okay, dude.
Okay, that's not really
moving on.
Yeah, it's over. It's over. I tried my best.
You ruined it. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh,
According to John Rocca, the rumor castings for the Authority. Ooh, this is fucking stacked, by the way. Includes Sam Worthington, Alexander Skarsgård, Keira Knightley, Gerard Butler, Kiki Palmer, and Riz Ahmed. Jesus Christ. However, other insiders have since claimed that is not true, and Racha himself even stated he was only 50% sure of these castings. I mean, stacked.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
If
I
true.
mean, obviously, we don't know if it's gonna happen or not, or even like if any of these are true. But yeah,
where's the rest of the money going? Is what I'm asking. Fuck, they gotta pay for the camera still.
Ah, dude, not the new DCU, my guy. I mean, did you see how much Barbie just made for Warner Bros, dude? You think they don't got money to spend, my guy?
They don't, dude. They do. They
really don't. They actually are broke. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that, they got an influx of money right now because they sold so much shit.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, do you know how much they actually made off that?
What, Barbie?
$2.
Barbie, yeah.
Oh, it was over $1 billion.
It's more than 2, a little bit.
It's by far the highest grossing movie of the year so far, but and then there you have it. That's good. I will say though,
what?
Aquaman 2 probably going to lose them all that money that they just made.
Bro, they should just straight to fucking DVD that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Save the money. Don't even put it on streaming.
But we'll get to that though. We got some Aquaman stuff coming up here to talk about.
Okay, moving on. Giancarlo Esposito recently revealed that he met with James Gunn pre-strikes. Everybody, pre-strike, of course, pre-strike. Yeah, definitely not during. It was during the trade window. I promise. I lost my place. He met with James Gunn pre-strikes about potentially playing a character in the new DCU. Which character would you guys like to see him play? I'd like to see him play something like a little bit out of what we've seen of him.
Yes. Yeah.
Because like, we don't need another fucking Gus or the guy from The Boys.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he's got range. Like he can play anything.
Yeah, I do agree. Go ahead.
No, that's all. I'm just thinking like who he might play. Roles.
I do agree that I would actually like to see him play a hero for once. Like to see him play a superhero, see how that goes.
Or at least like an anti-hero or something.
As to who that could be, so I've seen like some. Hold on, let's see if this article mentions any. I've seen some fan casts. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, who's the guy that it's like 2 people in one, but he's a fusion guy. He has like the power of the sun. He was in the Flash.
Oh, Firestorm. Wait, is it Firestorm? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's Firestorm. He could play the older Doctor.
That is true. Yeah, Martin Stein.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that'd be actually really cool.
Because it'd be like he appears and sounds strict and stuff, but that's how he's supposed to sound. But he actually gives a shit.
Right. Yeah. I was hoping the article would mention some of the fan casts that I've seen, but off the top of my head, I think I've seen some people saying that they would want to see him play like a Jay Garrick Flash. Since he's a little bit older.
Like an older Flash.
Yeah. Which I mean, yeah, that could be cool. I've seen some people saying, which I mean, they would either have to get him in a muscle suit, or he'd have to bulk up a bit for this. But I've seen some people say that he could play Icon.
I'm Icon living. No, we got Jaden Smith for that.
So yeah.
I
Now,
don't
if he
know. I'd have to
was,
look up a bunch of
yeah,
characters.
same here, same here.
I just can't
I'm
think of any
struggling
off
to
the
think
top of
off the
my
top of
head.
my head. Yeah, but I will say,
But
if they wanted to keep him as a villain, I mean, I feel like he could be a pretty good Lex Luthor. No,
100%. Oh, he would 100% be a great Lex Luthor. I can already see it now, dude.
right? Yeah.
You have what I want. But that's him saying it like the Superman's got
Exactly.
kryptonite or something.
Exactly.
You think I didn't come prepared, Superman?
exactly. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, long story
Really
short,
underestimated you.
I
I'm writing it for him, dude.
I really don't care who he plays, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like he'll be good in whatever they.
Bro, if it
choose
ain't
him.
Lex Luthor now, you ruined it.
Yeah, it just depends what
I
they want to
want.
go for. Because up until now, we've heard that they want to get like a younger actor to play Luthor, since Superman is also going to be, you know, a little bit of a younger
Lex was
actor.
always
again,
older than Superman.
yeah, for sure. I'm just telling you what they're saying.
I know, but we don't need Smallville again. Not everybody has to be a teenager.
True.
Although that's not the case, because we got
They're
a couple older people already cast for some pretty big roles.
The only reason I brought that up because we had heard that Nicholas Hoult was in the running to play Luthor for a while, so I'd imagine they might want to actor like around that age range. But
Bro, get Nicholas Hoult on anything, man.
sheesh, well, he's trying. He's been trying to for years, but he always just barely misses out on getting cast.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We need to get him in. Okay, moving on to that Aquaman 2 shit you was talking.
Yeah.
The first teaser for Aquaman 2 released a few days ago, with the full trailer finally releasing tomorrow. Many people have been bashing the trailer for things like bad CGI and using exact shots from the first film. Even James Wan, the film's director, has seemingly made fun of the trailer on his social media accounts. You fucking tell him, James Wan.
Yeah, it's so
recycled footage is hilarious.
Yeah, so this is what this is right here. It's a little bit of low quality, but like on the left,
This is a disaster.
On the left side here.
Oh no! Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, this is
a crime.
This is
keep getting away. They just re-LUT it, dude. They threw a new LUT on it, and they're like, "All right, we're good." This is a studio.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna get into the other stuff too here that you brought up, but
they were like, "There's too many shots with Amber Heard. We got to replace them. What do we do?"
Basically to give everyone a quick rundown. So this movie comes out in December, right? just a couple months away, and despite that, they were not planning on releasing the first trailer for this movie until like the middle to the end of next month. There's like some like New York con or whatever that they were going to wait to release it for. So that would have been like less than 2 months before the movie came out, that the first trailer came out. And then they just got so much flack. Basically people saying like, oh, so you're just giving up on the movie then, right? Like you're not trying to promote it or whatever. And then I feel like that forced Warner Bros. Hand, and they're like, oh, okay, we gotta pretend like we care about this movie now. So here you go. We'll put the trailer out at the end of the week. But obviously that trailer comes out tomorrow, but then a couple days ago they released the trailer for the trailer, like the teaser trailer or whatever. And yeah, you have like a bunch of these shots literally pulled right from the first movie. You got this which is what a lot of people, this is like one of the few things that people are talking about as to like just pretty weird looking CGI in this trailer. This is, I guess, Nicole Kidman's character. I don't know what happened to her from the first movie, but I don't know like what's going on here or what this even is, but it does not.
Suicide Squad.
It looks I don't know. It definitely looks questionable for sure, but um again,
I'm gonna get you, my
we
precious.
can't show you guys the full trailer, but if you're curious, you can look, you can look it up for yourself and see some of the other things that people are talking about. But this is James wants the comment in question that he said. So basically someone
This
commented.
looks like shit. No, sorry.
No, he wasn't quite that harsh with it, but someone commented on the
I
trailer
feel this.
and they were like, LOL, is this a, trailer for a trailer question mark? And then he commented was like, haha, I know, it's hilarious. so I don't know if like he's actually being genuine here, or if he's actually like, yeah, this is like actually stupid. Like why do we have like a trailer for a trailer, especially like this late into the process when the movie literally comes out in like 2.5 months. But yeah, I don't know. I saw that he also made some other recent comments about the movie because people had asked him like some of the concerns that people had about it. So I don't know what he said regarding that. But yeah,
I don't like it.
based off the rumors, it sounds like he's basically been like getting screwed over by Warner Bros. In this production. But yeah, I mean, as much as I hate to say it, because I do like James Wan, but I just don't know if this movie is gonna be it.
But yeah, that's all I had.
Well, with that being said, we actually do have a few video game things to go over very quickly. Only one of them are like really actual like confirmed news, but the other three are like some pretty interesting rumors that are worth mentioning. The first of which is that My Time to Shine Hello, which I guess they're now doing video game scoops now, but like one of their first video game scoops, they claim that Red Dead Redemption 3 is now officially in the works. So yeah, I guess we'll have to see if that turns out to be the case or when that could potentially release. Probably not for a long time, but
after GTA 6.
Yeah, probably, which is also going to be a long time, so even longer.
Yep.
So but yeah, the next thing they reported was apparently a Hogwarts Legacy sequel is also in the works.
Which, yeah, no shit.
I mean,
they made too much money to not make another one.
I was gonna say, come on, like we pretty much expected that to be the case, but nonetheless, I guess according to them, it is apparently in the works. I guess we'll have to see. And then on top of that, lastly, at least for My Time to Shine, they claim that a God of War Ragnarok DLC is in the works. I don't know. I don't really know about that because the game came out, what, 2 years ago? Year and a half ago?
No, year and a half ago.
I don't know. I feel like if they were making a DLC, we would have heard about it by now.
Unless they were like, shit, we didn't realize how fucking huge this was going to be. We better start making one now.
Just like hanging back. They're like, you remember that God of War game that we released a little while ago? When was that? A year and a half ago? Oh, sheesh. We gotta make a DLC for that. It's about that time. But yeah, I don't know what the thought process is there or why they wouldn't have released or revealed it by now. If they were making a DLC, maybe it's just gonna be a last minute like surprise reveal type thing, or maybe they're just gonna say, screw it, like we're not releasing this for like another year or two still. But I don't know. I guess because I would imagine there's still, or they're also like in the early stages of developing a third God of War game too, right?
Oh, they have
like, I don't know.
You'll just end it like that, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work, but anyways, I guess we'll have to see. But the very last thing I have is that apparently Insomniac confirmed that the developers who had been working on Spider-Man 2, which comes out next month, thankfully, have now officially moved over to help with the development of their Wolverine game. So obviously that means they're starting to ramp up production or development of that game. And
yeah, dude, after that fucking cinematic we saw 3,000 years ago.
Right, yeah. And again, take this with a pinch of salt, but apparently internally the studio is reportedly targeting a late 2024 release date. So late next year is apparently when they want to have this game released by. And while I would love for that to be the case, I just can't see it. Mainly because of what Evan just said. Like, we literally have seen nothing about this game since that cinematic like 3 years ago. We haven't really gotten like any updates on the game since then either, so I don't know how they would just magically have the game ready within a year, even if, you know, they get, obviously they have more people working on it now, right? With the devs who are working on Spider-Man 2 that are now going to be helping them out with it. I still just don't see how they can get that done in time for release date late next year. And if they do a strike as well, as we talked about earlier, like with the voice actors, I mean, obviously that's probably going to delay things as well, unless that's, you know, unless the strike for that doesn't last that long, hopefully. But I don't know. Only time will tell, I guess. But I mean, I guess it's good to hear any type of development on the game, but no, that's all we got so far, at least. So,
Yeah, doggy.
with that being said,
I got one thing to say.
Go ahead.
It's my bi-weekly Harry Potter fact of the week of the bye week. Of the bye week. Of the 2 week. Every 2 weeks I do. But you know that necklace in the Half-Blood Prince that was like cursed and caused that one girl to like fly up in the air, get cursed and shit.
Oh yes. I had to think about it for a second, but yeah, I do remember.
Well, you can actually see that very necklace in Chamber of Secrets when Harry gets instead of going to Diagon Alley, he goes to the Borgin and Burke's shop, like the Dark Wizard shop.
Right.
You can see that same exact necklace in the background in the scene.
Sheesh.
Foreshadowing.
Interesting. I did not know that.
Which makes sense because in the books, they remember seeing the necklace when they follow Draco to where he goes to talk to Morgan and Barry. It's a fucking rabbit hole, dude.
I see. Okay.
I'm not spending 10 minutes explaining it.
All good. All right then. Well, you guys have anything else you want to talk about or add
Not
to the
to
discussion
you.
before we wrap it up?
Damn.
Oh, damn. No.
No, I
nothing.
don't.
All right. Sounds good. Well, sounds like that's going to officially wrap up the podcast. As for when the next podcast might be, it's very well might end up being another 3 weeks. If, there's not really a whole lot of news, rumors, and whatnot coming out between now and the next 2 weeks, but we'll have to see how it goes. I know we kind of mixed things up a little bit this time, having it on a Wednesday night rather than a Sunday or a Monday, but no, that's just how it played out. But next time we should be getting back to the Sunday, Monday night schedule, one of those 2 days, within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So, stay tuned. We'll probably have a reminder or a schedule whenever we decide what day it's going to be, but yeah, just keep an eye out for that, and hopefully everyone has a good rest of their day or rest of their night, depending where they're at, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye forever, everybody.
Thank you.